The detective surgeon struggled to open old wounds as she went to her first therapy session in the ITV soap. Coronation Street fans couldn't help but be distracted by Lisa Swain and her therapist as the detective surgeon struggled to open old wounds. As fans were already aware, Lisa told girlfriend Carla Connor that she would speak to someone, having buried many feelings over the years, largely thanks to simply cracking on with her serious job in any situation. In an episode of the ITV soap aired last month, viewers saw Glenda Shuttleworth hosting a lively drag night at the Rover's return, having been made the manager of the Boozer by Carla earlier this year. It was later, as Carla and Lisa reflected on the evening back at the flat, which prompted Lisa to make her decision as she announced that she's going to attend counseling, to which Carla showed her support and admitted she was very proud. It came after she found herself put on desk duties following her arrest of Brody Michaelis, who later suffered an epileptic fit in his cell after he refused to tell her what the pills in his pocket were. It also came after she faced guilt over the heartbreaking death of her colleague, PC Craig Tinker, in the line of duty, having told him to get back into his uniform to prove DC Kit Green wrong during his CID placement. During Thursday's July 10 episode of Corey, fans watched Lisa was seen reluctantly attending her first session after some gentle persuasion from Carla. "It's not going to be that bad," Carla told her. Lisa replied, "I'm not really a snuggle up and talk about my feelings kind of girl, am I?" But Carla carried her humor as she replied, "Just so you know, you don't snuggle up to your therapist. They won't like it, and neither will I, Doc." Their conversation continued, but Lisa didn't seem to want to listen to her girlfriend's words of wisdom as she shared her frustration at still being stuck behind her desk. Later, she didn't seem overly pleased to be at her therapy session. She was asked to sit down, with Lisa joking she was relieved to not have to lie down. When he asked her to explain, Lisa told the therapist she expected to lie down on a chaise lounge and yap about how your parents love your sister more than you. The therapist asked, "Is that what you want to talk about?" To which Lisa insisted, "I was the favorite." She later was heard telling the therapist that if she wanted to talk about Craig, she could do so with her partner, but she became even more uncomfortable when Becky was mentioned. But there were two reasons Corey fans were distracted by the scenes: the fact they made them have a little laugh, and just how petite Lisa really is, as she was once again paired with a really tall male, after DC Kit Green. Atsuka Swain said, "Lisa's so tiny next to her therapist, oh my god." At the Phonias commented, Lisa's therapist being another tall man not at her level, height-wise. At Swarlanova wrote, 5'3" Lisa and her 6'11" therapist. At Swirlus Crisps shared, cackling at them regularly having issues with Jacob and Vicky scenes because of height. So they went out and found someone taller to play Lisa's therapist, Mao #Swirla. At Shez_tops_Kim typed, Lisa fought for her life in that therapy session. That girl gave my defensiveness a run for its money. When she started talking about plants, I absolutely lost it. #Swirla #Corey. At _La Greenwood commented, "Okay, so one thing we did learn from Lisa's therapy session today is that plants make her feel guilty. Sorry, but I was howling for the entirety of these therapy scenes because she's actually so funny and unserious. I love her. Amazing script writing." F4 Ever Jurassic posted, "Lisa in therapy made me giggle, she's so funny." Fran Chelsear added, "I'm trying so hard not to laugh at Lisa deflecting in therapy, but that was me for a solid few months before I even started to slightly open up to my therapist." Coronation Street fans recently found themselves distracted by an emotional storyline that took an unexpectedly humorous twist. The focus was on Detective Sergeant Lisa Swain as she embarked on her first therapy session on the ITV soap. Despite the serious tone of Lisa confronting her emotional wounds, fans couldn't help but find humor in the scene, particularly due to the striking contrast between Lisa and her towering therapist. For viewers familiar with Lisa's storyline, The session was long overdue. In earlier episodes, Lisa had promised her girlfriend Carla Connor that she would begin speaking to someone about the emotional weight she had carried for years. As a police officer, Lisa had become accustomed to burying her feelings, always prioritizing duty over personal well-being. However, recent events in Weatherfield had begun to take their toll. A turning point occurred during a drag night hosted by Glenda Shuttleworth at the Rover's return. The event, lively and filled with colorful performances, was Glenda's latest responsibility after being named manager by Carla. Later that night, while reflecting on the event with Carla in their flat, Lisa admitted she had decided to attend counseling. Carla, ever supportive, responded with pride and encouragement, reinforcing her commitment to Lisa's well-being. The decision wasn't entirely surprising, given Lisa's recent string of emotionally draining experiences. She had been placed on desk duty after her arrest of Brody Michaelis, who suffered an epileptic seizure in his cell. Lisa had been unable to get Brody to reveal what the pills in his possession were, leaving her racked with guilt. Her emotional turmoil deepened following the tragic death of her colleague, PC Craig Tinker. She had urged him to get back into uniform in an effort to prove DC Kit Green wrong, and the decision had heartbreaking consequences. In the July 10th episode of Coronation Street, viewers finally saw Lisa keep her promise as she prepared to attend her first therapy session. Carla gently encouraged her, saying, "It's not going to be that bad." Lisa, however, was far from convinced. "I'm not really a snuggle up and talk about my feelings kind of girl, am I?" she said, clearly uncomfortable. Carla, with a lighthearted touch, joked, "Just so you know, you don't snuggle up to your therapist. They won't like it, and neither will I." The banter between the couple underscored the emotional tension Lisa was experiencing. Still visibly frustrated by her desk assignment, Lisa carried her defensiveness into the therapy room. Upon meeting the therapist, she sarcastically noted that she was relieved not to have to lie down, referencing the cliché of therapy sessions involving chaise lounges and childhood grievances. "You yap about how your parents love your sister more than you," she joked. When the therapist asked if that was what she wanted to talk about, Lisa quickly clarified, "I was the favorite." Despite her resistance, the therapist attempted to navigate the conversation toward more serious subjects, including Craig and Becky. Lisa balked at the mention of Becky, clearly showing signs of discomfort and emotional distress. She asserted that she could talk to her partner Carla about Craig if needed, avoiding deeper introspection with the therapist. While the storyline was crafted to highlight Lisa's emotional challenges and her struggle to open up, fans couldn't ignore two things: how genuinely funny the scenes were despite their intended seriousness, and the enormous height difference between Lisa and her therapist. The sight of petite Lisa beside yet another exceptionally tall man drew instant reactions from viewers on social media, with comparisons to her earlier scenes with the similarly statuesque PC Kit Green. "Lisa's so tiny next to her therapist. Oh my God," one viewer tweeted. Another joked, "Lisa's therapist being another tall man not at her level, height-wise." The commentary didn't stop there. One fan wrote, "5'3" Lisa and her 6'11" therapist, exaggerating the contrast for comedic effect. Others pointed out that Coronation Street seems to intentionally pair Lisa with taller co-stars, possibly for visual humor, cackling at them regularly having issues with Jacob and Vicky's scenes because of height. So they went out and found someone taller to play Lisa's therapist, another viewer observed. Humor aside, many fans also praised the writing and Lisa's character development. One fan noted, "Lisa fought for her life in that therapy session. That girl gave my defensiveness a run for its money. When she started talking about plants, I absolutely lost it." The comment referred to a scene in which Lisa deflected so hard that she began discussing plants, a moment that had viewers laughing out loud.